just got a new RPG, which should be like a cross between Fable and my favorite Dragon Age Origins. Finally, something for me to do while the Darkspawn regroup. Oh, what the? Why?
Because, Demon Joe, I've seen your fate, and it is to suffer until Dragon Age makes amends for its sequel. And because you mentioned Fable, a love that has recently betrayed me.
But it's by one of the designers of Oblivion, one of your favorite games, and Todd McFarlane, and some writer, Orve Salvatore.
Really? Well, in that case, let's give it a shot. Demon Joe, I'll just take this from you. Yes, sorry about that. Again, sorry. Alright, first, before I begin the review, I have to mention the EA and developer bullshit that annoys you right off the bat. Why the fuck am I putting in an online passcode to an offline RPG? Give me a fucking break, EA. Your war on used games is getting a little overzealous. And it's really starting to piss me the hell off now. You do this so that you can get some DLC that's clearly ripped from the game in order to justify this crap. And don't point to Kurt Schilling's supposedly well-written defense of this practice. His post completely misses the point that if somebody already bought a copy, that means you have this $60 that it costs to make the game already. The original cost of a game has already gone up because of the increased development costs of games. Why don't we ban used books while we're at it? You know, since the author doesn't see profits from those either. Maybe we could go as far as banning used cars too. God! That's an argument for a different day. And I'm gonna cut straight to the chase with this one and answer the question all of you are asking. Oh, it's an RPG? Oh, one of the guys from Oblivion made this one? Well, is it better than Skyrim? Huh, Joe? Huh? Is it better than Skyrim? Joystick gave it a perfect score and a few others. Is it? No! No, it's not better than Skyrim. But does that mean that it's not worth playing? Of course not. In fact, this is one that you need to buy, like right now. If only to play it for the amazingly deep and refreshing combat system that's in an RPG. Never have I had so much fun with combat in an RPG. Not with Skyrim, not with Mass Effect, not with Dragon Age. Nothing holds a candle to Kingdoms in this particular aspect. It is immediately fun, and you don't have to wait till level 32 before you're allowed to do cool shit. You can do cool shit at the beginning, and it only gets progressively better from then. And because combat is such a big part of what you do in an RPG, over half of your time is gloriously spent massacring monsters and minions, and in my case, innocents. All of this makes Kingdoms a blast to play. The key is the combat is fast, it's fluid, it has an arcadey type hack and slash feel to it, while keeping all of the really good elements of an RPG, a leveling up system, specializing in your favorite combat types. There are tons of different types of weapons, from swords, hammers, great swords, blades, daggers, scepters, staffs, even chakrams. You know Xena's favorite weapon?
As official members of the Xena Warrior Princess fan club, we'll be the first to know about them. Yeah.
This is the first game I know that includes these flaming chakrams.
What'd you say to me? You yell at me? Better shut your mouth. Yeah, that's right, you better run, stupid bear.
These are cool as fuck. And in fact, every single one of these weapons is upgradable and have special attacks. Your character is able to equip 2 of these weapons at any time. One map to each button, which makes it very easy to switch between them, creating combos. In addition to your weapons, you also have a magic ability wheel with stuff that hasn't been seen in other RPGs before. Like borrowing Scorpion's spear. Which is really a unique way of dealing with those pesky ass archers ruining your day. You can block enemy attacks with either your shield or your talisman. Hell, there's even time blocks that allow you to stagger your enemy for a quick counterattack. Everything put together makes for so much strategy and plenty of variation. It almost makes you violently upset at these insulting one-button systems like in Fable. This hit this button over and over, you dumb monkey.
They button mash. All the time. All they're doing is just button mashing. I'm trying to make Fable 2 the greatest role-playing game of all time again. Everything I'm going to do, insanely, is based upon one button.
You are also free to switch between specializations at any time using fate cards, which is a rarity in RPGs. Want to make a sorcerer who uses swords, badass armor, and hammers? You can. What about a magical base rogue? Yep, from Crusader to Paragon to Champion to any combination that you can think of, it's here. And finally, as if all of that isn't enough reason for you to take notice of this combat system, they add fate shifting, which encourages you to vary your attacks, to use special abilities associated with each weapon, to switch it up because it fills the fate meter faster. Once this meter is filled, you can hit both triggers at the same time to enter a fate shift mode. This slows down time, makes your attacks a lot more powerful, and allows you to go around and finish off every single enemy on screen as quickly as you can, and then strategically choose to attack the boss last until you get the button prompt to finish him off, killing the enemy in the most brutal, flashy, and satisfying way. What's more is doing this actually rewards you for executing it the right way. If you can hit that button real fast, that button prompt, you will get more experience for it, giving you a reason and purpose to the QuickTime event. This is how it should be implemented if you're gonna use a QuickTime event at all. God bless the developer in charge of combat. Now that's combat. As for the rest of Kingdoms of Amalur and how it plays, the best I can put it is, it's basically Fable if Fable didn't suck. These are the top 10 reasons why Fable 3 sucks balls and was a completely different game. Now, I know it may not be very helpful, but if you've ever played the Fable series, you pretty much have a general idea of how this one plays, only much better. It's not the open world, go anywhere, do anything system that I prefer, but instead that guided path, annoying invisible wall system. One of those games where you can't even jump, only in designated areas with a button prompt. I hate not being able to jump. This is 2012. Can we please stop doing this? Now, this type of execution on a whole isn't necessarily wrong, it just limits its total potential. The game does, though, try to make up for its lack of exploration in open areas in a familiar way. Like in Fable, you can find loot caches if you're exploring every nook and cranny of the area you're allowed to go to. And unlike Fable, when you smash boxes and barrels, there's actually something in them!
I think it's something in the water, man. It's got in the water.
Kingdoms then takes this one step further. If you level up your detect hidden skill, you can find hidden areas that you can't otherwise. Loot down in wells, secret doors. And you can have these marked directly on your map if your level is high enough. Now, admittedly, with this more focused and guided path, it's more linear. But it can also use this to its advantage in hopefully telling us a more cohesive story. The world is bright, it's colorful, with really interesting character design. A lot of people have said that it reminds them of World of Warcraft. Me, it reminds me of something else.
Yes, you know me, but I stand for my lady now. The Maid of Windermere is everything. Goodbye.
Unfortunately, like World of Warcraft, the graphics in Kingdoms of Amalur isn't necessarily the best. They're just average. But characters do have plenty to say, which I like. And they're told through clean dialogue cutscenes. And while NPCs may not be moving around or doing their work as they're talking to you, they are expressive. Perhaps a little too expressive.
Every day we must face both the beasts of the wood and the evil of wicked hearts. I fear for Brother Egan's soul. He is like a baby, eyes wide at the world around him.
Another big bonus for me and possibly you, and what sells me on these types of games, is armor sets. And how cool you can make your guy look. I want to look like a badass. And in this game, the armor sets are fucking awesome. And right away, too. There's not one or two armor sets at the end of the game that make you look badass. You start right away with several. Hell, in the blacksmithing system, you can even forge your own and name it. Now, your weapons and armor will degrade over time if you don't repair them. And there's plenty of other RPG extras like that, like lore stones throughout the world which tell more of the backstory. There's books, there's lock-picking mini-games. There's even a new spell warding mini-game for dispelling magical locks. A great alchemy system, and speechcraft.
I don't have... Okay, here. It's all I've got. Plus what I got paid for the information. I don't want any part of this. I'm going home to Odessa. Pah. Good riddance to Hughes. Shoo! Be gone! Leave me be! Shoo! Be gone!
The problem with Kingdoms of Amalur is the other half of what you do in an RPG. You know, when you aren't mercilessly maiming and murdering and massacring. Maiming, murdering, massacring. Is immersing yourself in the story. The mythos and the lore of the world. Unfortunately, Kingdoms does less of a spectacular job here. It isn't that the story isn't interesting, because it is. You have defied death itself, you've raised from the grave. In this world, everyone has a set destiny, a fate, but you have none. In fact, you can change other people's fates around you. Discovering who or what the hell you are and what it all means for this world is interesting. The problem is that everything else, what connects you to this world, everything surrounding it, the characters and the NPCs are just boring. You can't connect with any of them. And not memorable at all. In fact, I can't remember anybody's name. They all look like clones of each other. They all have the same personality and they seem to talk the same way. For example, there's this Spider Queen that you hear rumors about. Rumors then turn into reality. You start to fight her spider minions. And you can feel the impending battle upon you. Oh yeah, you're gonna finally fight that Spider Queen, and you got this image in your head of what she's gonna look like. And then, once you get to her, she reveals herself. Unfortunately, she's another reskinned Fae with slightly darker colors and a little bit of spiderish webbing.
Now come, let us test ourselves against each other. I do not fear being cut down. I will rise again in time, unlike you.
Yay.
I'll teach you to get my hopes up and disappoint me. Bitch, come here. You ain't no Spider Queen. Eat my sword. Eat it, eat it, eat it.
Yeah. She looks seriously disappointing. And it's just that once you turn this game off, none of it sticks with you like an Elder Scrolls game. You don't feel as important to this world like you should. So there's that, and then the other problem is the side quests, the task, and the faction quests are all painfully average. While doing a House of Ballads quest, you end up doing the same thing 3 times in a row. Meet up with AI warriors, clear a cave, fight a boss at the end. Do it again. Meet Fae warriors, find a cave, beat the boss with a different name above his head. Rinse and repeat. I would have preferred more interesting quality content over quantity. And there is a ton of quantity here. There is hundreds of hours of content for you to go through. In fact, lead designer Ian Fraser has said that a speed run on easy, skipping all dialogues and cutscenes, took their QA team over 200 hours to complete everything. That is a massive fucking amount if true. But honestly, after the first 15 hours of playing these particular side quests and menial tasks, I'm not really sure you want to play all hundreds of hours of those. Now, if you're only interested in the slightly better main campaign, that's going to take you roughly around 25 to 30 hours to complete, which is still pretty substantial, the size of other RPGs in their entirety. Finally, the game could have used a bit more polish. There's some odd or unintended sound annoyances. For example, one time you're talking with NPCs while somebody is hurt on the ground, moaning.
The Fae may be strange, but they certainly don't deserve this. Peaceful Fae make up the tribe known as the Court of Summer. They are led by a king in a faraway city, hidden from mortal eyes. That's about all I know. Little more than rumors and stories from my youth.
The soundtrack feels a little bit repetitive to me. It's just not as good as it should have been. The game could have benefited from a better quest tracking system. You can only track one quest at a time on the large map, which leads to a bunch of frustrating menu switching over and over to see what particular other quests are in this general area that you're about to travel to. And again, the game could have benefited from more polish to its graphics engine. But none of these take away too much from the overall experience.
Well, that's it for you then. Better luck next time.
The final verdict for Kingdoms of Amalur: The Reckoning is a 7 out of 10. It is a great game. I would have rated it higher, and I wanted to rate it higher, if not for some of the outright boring characters and some weak quests. But the sheer amount of content, some of the better storyline quests deeper in the game, and the extremely fun and deep, engaging combat system is what saves Kingdoms. This game is an awesome value for the money. And best of all, it's a new IP, and one that I'd love to see more of. This franchise obviously has potential to improve, and yes, maybe at one point even compete with Skyrim. But for now, it stands as a solid, fun RPG. And while it just barely misses my badass seal of approval, I can, however, recommend that you go out and buy this one. Let's support it so that we can see this franchise grow and get better. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show.